Would you like to earn even more revenue from your Fortnite maps? Well, you're in the right place because in this video, I will cover everything you need to know about how to design and implement your own gold product that players can buy with real V-Bucks. All of the assets and code that I write in this video will be available for completely free inside of my Discord server. You can join by following the very first link in the description. Alright, so for this first part, we're actually going to start off with designing the icon. I have a asset pack here that you can find for, I think, $10 or $15 on itch.io. It's got a bunch of backgrounds that we can pick from, and it's also got some coin tiers that we can choose from as well. I'll be sure to put a link to this in the description. If you want your own, you can definitely make some with AI, or I've had a pretty good experience asking for icons with like ChatGPT or something. So in this case, I am going to drag in this background right here, just like that. And then now I'm also going to drag in this coin pile right in the middle here. I'm going to scale it down just a little bit because it doesn't need to take up the entire thing, but it does need to be pretty big, just like that. And then now that we have the icon in, I'm going to click this text tool right here, and I'm going to type in gold. I want to make sure that the font is 72, and I'm also going to make sure that the text is white. I actually like to do FEFEFE because it's a little bit of a cream color. It's very, very similar to the pure white, but I think that it makes just a little bit better of a difference. After I do that, I'm going to add an outline to the text by going to blending options, and I'm going to click stroke just like that. Once I've got the text how I want it, I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to try to align it in the center as much as I can. I might have to shift it a little bit up just because I want there to be a little bit of a border. Okay, great. So now that we have this icon ready to go, I'm going to export this, and then we can actually use this directly in game for our product icon. All right, so now that we're inside of UEFN, I made a textures folder. I'm going to import the texture that we just made inside of Photoshop. I'm going to double click on it and set the MIP gen to no MIP maps, and I'm going to set the texture group to 2D pixels unfiltered. I'm going to save that and return back to the viewport, and then I'm going to click verse, and I'm going to do verse explore to open up this panel down here. I'm going to right click on the content folder, create new, and I'm going to make a verse device. It doesn't need to be any of the other ones right now. This one is going to be called Premium Shop Manager. Go ahead and click create. We're going to make one more, so right click again, create new. This one is also going to be a verse device. It's going to be called gold packs, and this one is going to be empty. So now that we're inside of Visual Studio Code, I'm going to leave the Premium Shop Manager alone for just a minute, and instead I'm going to begin working on the gold packs script. The first thing I'm gonna do is paste in a few modules that we're gonna need. You can go ahead and pause the video if you want to type this out. I will leave them for you in the description, so if you want to just copy and paste them into your script, you're welcome to do that as well. The first thing we're gonna do is make a gold packs info module, which is gonna be public. And we're gonna do gold pack info, which is a sub module, and this is also going to be public as well. So make sure you write out the name, and you have the public attribute, and then you have module with a colon after that. The first thing that we need to add is the name, the description, the short description, and the icon. The first three are going to have the localizes and the public attribute, and they're going to be of type message. So I'm actually going to go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to paste it twice here and here. The icon is going to be public, but it's just going to be of type texture, and we can link this directly to the icon that we just made. So mine is located in the textures folder, and it is called T_gold pack icon, just like this. And in case you were wondering, you can locate any file inside of the content browser by doing file location and then doing a dot and then texture name. If your texture is located in multiple files, it would be like file location, like this, and then just keep doing that until you reach the folder. So it would be like assets, textures, icons, and then you would put the name of your file. Wherever it's located inside the content browser, just make sure that it follows the same file path. I should be able to just input this information. So gold pack. Below that, we want to create a new module called Gold Pack Entitlements. And it's also going to have a public attribute, and it's going to be a module like that. We want to import the Gold Packs info. After that, what we need to do is create a new class, which is going to be called Pack Entitlement with the public attribute. And the class itself is going to have the abstract and castable attributes as well. And it's going to inherit the native entitlement class that's given to us by Epic Games. Also, make sure that you add these little curly brackets at the end. Below that, we're going to do the Gold Pack Entitlement class, which is going to have the public attribute, and the class itself is going to be abstract. And it's going to inherit that entitlement class that we made just a moment ago. I forgot the S right here. So inside of here, we want to override the entitlement information with the info module that we just made. So to do that, we're going to do var name with the override attribute, which is going to be of type message. And this is going to be goldpacksinfo.goldpackinfo.name, like this. Go ahead and do that for the description as well. Var description with the override attribute of type message, and goldpacksinfo.goldpackinfo.description. I forgot the capital P here. The short description is also going to have the override attribute type message, goldpacksinfo.goldpackinfo.short description. And lastly, we just need to override the icons. So make sure you have the override attribute with the type texture, and it follows the same formula as before, which is goldpackinfo.icon. There are a few more things that we need to define, so let's go ahead and do that. The first thing is paid random item with the override attribute. It's type logic, and it's going to be false because we are not involving any kind of gambling or any kind of chance related odds. It is just you buy it and you get it. It is not a paid area, so we want to override that, type logic, and that's also going to be false. However, it is consequential to gameplay, so we want to override that as well, type logic, and this one is going to be true. It also is a consumable, so we want to override that, type logic equals true. And because it is a consumable, we want to set the max count with the override attribute of type integer, but it's got 10 million. All right, so now what we can do is create the offer itself. So let's make a new public module, and this is going to be gold pack offers, and it's going to be a public module like this. We also want to import both of the modules, so the info module as well as the entitlements. So gold pack entitlements. Once you've done that, go ahead and make a new offer called gold pack with the public attribute, and it's going to be a class that inherits the entitlement offer from Epic Games. We can go ahead and copy all of this over and paste it into the gold pack class that we just created. So now we just need to tell it what kind of offer this is. So entitlement type, which will have the override attribute, and it's going to be a concrete subtype that inherits the entitlement class, and it's going to be equal to the gold pack entitlements dot gold pack entitlement that we just made. I actually made a mistake up here because this does not need to be abstract. It actually needs to be concrete like this. That should get rid of the error right here. And once you've done that, we can go ahead and override the price, which is going to be of type price dimension equal to make price V-Bucks. And I'm just going to make this 100. You can set the price of your product between 50 and 5,000 as long as it's an increment of 50, so 150 or 250, anything like that. You cannot do 275 or 260. It's got to be an increment of 50 V-Bucks. All right, so now that we define the offer, we just need to hook it up to the premium shop manager. The easiest way that I figured out how to organize everything is actually by making a custom class that will help us access this offer. So the first thing we need to do is import the gold pack entitlements, just like that. And then I'm going to make a new class called Gold Packs Store, and it's going to be a public class like this. Inside of here, we're going to have a button, which is going to be of type button device. And below that, we're going to have a new device called gold_1K, and this is going to be an item granter device. So we're going to define a few functions inside of here. The first one is going to be on entitlement changed, and it's going to have a result of type tuple, which has the player inside of it, as well as the array of entitlement change. It will not have a result. And so basically what this is saying is when an entitlement gets changed, it will pass in the player and it will pass in an array of the entitlements that exist. And so what we're going to do is create a for loop for changed offer, and then result, and then in parentheses we put the number 1, because we want to access the second type of data inside of this tuple. If we wanted to access the player, we could do player ref is result in parentheses 0, like this, because in parentheses, this is how you access the first type. The entitlement itself is actually just going to be equal to changed offer dot entitlement. The number that it changed by, so the product change, is equal to changed offer dot change, like this. Now all we need to do is cast the entitlement into the type that we just created. So if gold pack entitlement, and then in the hard brackets we're going to put the entitlement type. And so basically this cast function right here, it will return true if the entitlement in question is this entitlement that we designed up here. Now we just need to spawn a new function called consume gold pack, and we're going to pass in the player ref, the gold pack entitlements dot gold pack entitlement, and then finally we're going to pass in the product change as well on the very end here. After that, I'm going to create the function itself. So consume gold pack, like this. So as before, it's going to take in the player ref of type player. It's going to take in the entitlement of type concrete subtype entitlement, like this. And then finally, what we want to do the number consuming, which is going to be an integer. Make sure you put the suspense attribute on there with no results. So now what we're going to do is consume entitlement, like this. We're going to pass in the player ref, the entitlement, and a question mark count, colon equal to number consuming. And then what we're going to do is for I colon equals 0 and then 2 periods, number consuming minus 1. Also, we want to take this consume entitlement function and we want to have it return a result because this function will return a logic. So then what we're going to do is take this result and pass it into the for loop, which basically just means that if this result is false, it's not going to award the player with any gold. So I'm going to put a period there, and I'm just going to do gold 1k dot grant item, and then I'm going to pass the player in. And this is literally just an item granter that has gold inside of it. We will set that up later, but if you want to have a custom currency, I have a link to the video up top if you want some more information about how to do that. You can totally pass it in. All you would do here is update the player data to award them with the money. But if you don't have that and you just want a item currency like gold or something similar to that, this is all you would need to do. You can put any item inside the gold granter. All right, so now the last thing that we need to do is create a new function called open store, and it's going to take type agent with no result. If we cast that agent into a player with the hard brackets like this, now all we need to do is spawn a function called buy offer, and we're going to pass in the player ref, and then we're going to pass in the gold pack offers dot gold pack. And make sure you wrap it with the curly brackets right here, because if you don't, then it will yell at you. All right, so now that we have everything completed for the gold pack store, let's go ahead and hook that up to the premium shop manager so we can actually display it to the player and keep track of when they purchase things. Also, I just wanted to say, if this video is helping you along in your UEFN journey whatsoever, I would really appreciate a like. It helps spread my channel to as many people as possible. At the end of the day, I just want to help you guys make cool stuff. And without further ado, let's get back into it. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is import the marketplace module. You can copy that from over here if you don't have it. I'm also gonna clean this up just a little bit because I don't need all these comments. I'm gonna make a new editable called player spawners, and this is gonna be an array of player spawner device of type array, just like this. Below that, I'm going to add the gold packs store that we just created. So gold packs store like this. And we also want to create a gold packs changed event map, which is going to have a player for the key and a cancelable for the value. Moving on, we need to create a for loop for the spawner device of the spawner devices like that, and we want to do spawner device dot spawned event dot subscribe, and we want to pass in the on spawned event. This was actually supposed to be player spawners like this, and now we just need to make this function over here. I'm going to pass in an agent like this with no result, just for a temporary moment while we finish writing the on begin function. We also want to see when people leave, so I'm going to do get play space with the parentheses player removed event with parentheses dot subscribe on player removed. I'm also going to create a temporary function right here with the leaving player ref of type player and no result like this. So the first thing that we want to do when a player spawns in is you want to cast their agent into a player with these hard brackets right here. And then we want to see if they exist inside of the event map. So if not, gold packs changed event map, and then we pass the player in as the key with a question mark on the end here. This will basically say if they don't already have an existing subscription, we want to create a new one called new gold packs subscription, and it's going to be equal to get entitlements changed event, which is a native function from Epic Games. We want to pass the player ref inside of there alongside the gold pack entitlements dot pack entitlement like that, and we're going to subscribe to it with the gold packs dot on entitlement changed, which, if you remember, this function right here is the one that we created inside of the gold packs. So this is going to be listening whenever somebody purchases an item. We then want to set their event map, so we're going to do if set gold packs changed event map is equal to option new gold packs subscription. I forgot to actually pass the player in right here with the hard brackets. So if set gold packs of changed event map with the player as the key, we want to set that specific value with the player as the key. We want to set that to this subscription right here. So the last thing that we need to do is clean up any existing subscriptions that are running for a player when they leave, because if someone's not in the game, we don't need to be hogging resources and tracking their purchases if they literally don't even exist. So when they leave the game, we first want to fetch their subscription. So we're going to do if gold packs subscription is equal to the changed event map, and then we want to pass in the leaving player ref as the key. Don't forget the question mark right here. Once we've done that, we want to first cancel it. So you want to do gold packs subscription dot cancel like this. And then we want to create a temp event map which is going to be the same type as the one up top. So it has the player as the key and a cancelable as the value. Now what we want to do is for key with the value like this, and then we're going to do gold packs changed event map. And then we want to make sure that the key is not equal to the leaving player ref. And in case you didn't know, this right here is how you loop through a map. You can do a for loop with an array, but you can also do a for loop with a map like this. So the key here is basically the player ref like this, right? And then the value itself is the subscription. So what we can do is type subscription in right here. So it's saying the player ref is linked to the subscription that exists inside of this event map right here. And so what we're going to do is we want to set the temp event map is equal to concatenate maps, and then we want to pass in the temp event map with the map curly bracket player ref subscription like this. And I know that this is kind of confusing. It was pretty confusing when I first saw this, but all we're doing is looping through the existing map, and then we're going to be adding all of the values except for the one that is for the player who left. Because what will end up happening is if we set the gold packs changed event map to the temp event map, we're essentially overriding the existing map with everybody minus the person who left. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I read every single one of them. So if you have something to say, let me know. So there's actually one tiny mistake that I totally forgot about. We need to actually subscribe to the button. So we're gonna do gold packs dot button dot interacted with event dot subscribe, and then we're going to do gold packs dot open store, just like this. But other than that, that is everything we need to do on the back end for setting up this currency product. I'm going to go ahead and jump back into UEFN and set it all up. The first thing that you want to do is drag the premium shop manager into the game. I'm going to drag this back just a little bit. I'm going to add 2 new members to this player spawner array, and I'm going to link them to the device like this. There's also the gold pack class that we created, which has the button and it has the gold grantor. So I'm going to grab a button and I'm going to drag it out like this. The settings don't really matter, but I'm just going to put gold packs. I'm going to add the interaction radius of 0.5. And then I'm also going to grab an item grantor from the content browser like this. It's really important that you keep all, and we add the gold coins to the item list. I'm going to have 1,000 in this gold pack right here. It might be different for you if you have more or less that you're going to be giving to them, but this is just going to be 1,000. Cycle behavior is going to be set to wrap, and don't forget to link these to the device like this. After you've done all that, let's go ahead and launch a session. Alright, so now that we're in game, let's go ahead and click this button here. We can see that we have this beautiful storefront right here. We can click purchase, and it gives us 1,000 gold immediately. And we can also see that normally when you purchase a consumable, it will say item like 1 out of 10 million owned. But because of the way that we have this set up, it will redeem it instantly, which will give them the gold, and it will consume the consumable, if that makes sense. Other than that, I just wanted to say thank you so much for following me all the way through this tutorial. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace.